Yes, we have. Yeah, we've looked back at it. Fantastic performance all round. I think everyone that's been getting in contact to see how impressed they were. It's been a pretty kind of uniformed praise in terms of the intensity and the work rate and the spirit of the team. And on top of that, some real good football as well and thrown into the mix. So, no, I'm really pleased at how it went the other night there. I possibly put down a gauntlet to the boys to prove what I believe is we are the best team in the city, and that's why we're in the Premiership. And a lot of people thought I was maybe winding United up, but it's just the confidence I have in my squad. I think they showed it. So loads of positives from the other night there. We're now looking at an entirely different game in Hamilton with our own strengths and qualities, and we'll have to approach it in the same way in terms of the intensity and the will to win, but the game plan will be slightly different because of course Hamilton plays slightly different to United.
Is that tempo that you played at the other night, is that got to be the benchmark?
100%, yeah. I think it has to be. We've worked really hard over pre-season as a group to put things in place that the boys can play at that level. And I know there were certain people saying that they felt we would burn out. I never ever felt we would, because I know how fit they are, and I know the training and the way we prepare during the weeks. I know I've watched back the videos of what we put out here, and I hear the players talking about the competitive edge in training and what we demand. So I had no fears of that, and that is the absolute minimum that I require. Is that intensity, and I know we can sustain it, which is good. So if you're playing at that level, then you're asking questions of your opposition whether they can meet that demand and go for the entirety of the match. And then really it's all about ability. If you're doing that and those motivation levels to go and meet that standard are there, then it comes down to who's the better side and who's got the better quality.
Talking about quality, I heard you say after your radio interview after the match, you were talking about Faisal and him having to have the confidence in himself to be able to play the way that he did. Can you just go into that a wee bit more? Did you come in, did you feel that he didn't have the self-belief that perhaps his potential merits?
I think it was very easy to look at my whole squad when I took over for those 5 games last year and look at them and say that every player was struggling for confidence, not just Face. But I believe Face has got all the attributes to get well into double figures for Dundee this year. I want him to do that. I want him to feel that he's got the backing and the support from the management team, which he certainly does, and also the players. And then into that mix, I want the fans to back him. Don't want him to get frustrated with him when it doesn't come off, because he's the type of player with curial talent that will come up with something wonderful like he did the other night. He missed an easier chance before that when he's through 1v1, but he comes up with a piece of brilliance. So there'll be sparks in matches where he'll miss maybe an easier chance, and that's for us as a coaching staff to work with him on those things and make him better, and he's so keen to do that. But he'll come up with something magical that probably another player couldn't do. So there's a balance there. But no, look, he's got loads to offer, and he's just a brilliant wee boy to have about the place. He's infectious. He's so fit. He's quick. Gives players trouble in the back line. But he's equally happy to help out when we don't have the ball, and that goes for the whole team. That's what we're all trying to do: is compress the pitch, work hard as a team when we don't have it, and that allow those players in the front areas to go and do something special.
Do you think that he's obviously had a year adjusting from, I think it was League 2 to come up, when he come up to into the Premiership? Do you think that year of getting used to what the requirements are of the Premiership has benefited him now he feels comfortable?
Yeah, I think obviously players have to understand that there's a different level here. That's why teams are playing the Premiership, because generally they're better sides. And you would think better players, so he has to understand that. He has to get used to those higher demands, but he can do it. I've no fear in Face can I think he can shine here as well. So listen, he's the same as every other player in the team. They have to believe in why they're here and have to believe in their own qualities, and pull that together. We'll be a good team.
Did you work with him at Dunfermline?
I did. I was there when we came over.
Did you
I was here. I was in his first day at Dunfermline, so I've seen him going from not playing an 11-a-side game because he played futsal to now starring in a derby. So
what was it like in that first training session?
This is like Parkinson, in the face or something here. No, listen, you could just see he had that raw ability. He can strike the ball. He's got no backlift, having playing futsal with a heavier ball. Fantastic touch, which he's still showing. You know, his first touch is incredible sometimes, and especially at speed as well. But this was about him learning the game at Dunfermline. So Jim Jeffries brought him in, found a little gem. We worked really hard with him in the understanding of the game, different positions, and he's still learning. He's got a lot to go.
Two very different games you've had this week, going into a different atmosphere again against Hamilton.
Yeah.
How do you adjust the players to something like that?
It's not hard to adjust them because it is all about what we've been driving for all pre-seasons. It's putting our game into place. I keep using the word demands, but it really is. It's about what I expect from them, and as a coaching staff with both Graham and myself on the pitch with the outfield players, is trying to get that structure working in unity, so we move well together, and stop gaps from happening in between. You know, because the midfield area, as I said, is so important in games of football. It's where you get a game with the scruff of the neck, and if it's too wide open, then you really can't take control of it. So it's about working together as a team, and it's the message is the same, but of course your foe's different, and they'll all have different strengths, as I said. So we went up to watch Aberdeen play Hamilton at home. We got a report done on them again at the away fixture of that tie in the cup down at Hamilton. So we know what we've got to play against. Still fresh in my mind of last year's defeat that I wasn't happy with. And the players will be reminded of some of the things that I said after the game, that it wasn't acceptable. So, you know what we've got to do.
You feel the experience of last year will be a benefit to you going into this game at Saturday?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. It's a benefit to the boys who are still here as well. And they should remember that, because it wasn't pleasant and it wasn't acceptable.
And the surface, do you think the surface had anything to do with that? You
No.
adjusted at all to...
No, surface has got nothing to do with that defeat, no. We've been training in Astro yesterday. We'll train on it again today. And we'll be ready for Saturday.
How important is it that you use the result and the performance against Dundee United going into this league match?
Well, it's massive that of course that you allow the energy of that win to still remain within the group, and it's about building momentum. I'm disappointed that we didn't win our first league game of the season. Hamilton provided us another chance to go and win a league game and get the campaign started with 3 points. Won't be given to us, we'll need to take it. I know that, but you're right. I think the performance has given everybody great belief of all the things that we've been saying to the team and what they're capable of if they go together, and the intensity and just the trust in what we've been doing all pre-season, that we can play at those levels. So of course we need to keep that going.
Suggestions, Musa might be needing an operation, is that
Who said
correct? I think it's in the local paper.
Is it? Go on. You just make that up.
Mm-hmm.
No, listen. We'll just look at Musa. We'll get him assessed. Clearly, he's still being assessed, and when there's news, we'll give you that.
How's James McPake doing recovery-wise?
It's going to be a longer one for James. He's had a lot of setbacks. I feel really sorry for him in terms of that, because I know what it's like to keep on getting recurring injuries, and they're serious ones as well. But great spirits. He was involved the other night there. He was in and about the place. He has been in matches, so he's getting that side of the game where he's still feeding off the wins and the good feeling that the boys have got. But of course, he just wants to get himself right. So he's quite a bit off just now, and we're not putting any responsibility on him and any pressure on him to get back quickly, as long as he gets back right this time.
Dan back for suspension any
Yes, Dan's back for suspension, and then other than that, then I think we'll be all right.
So the passion last Wednesday there for the players, what it meant to them, for the goals were going in,
Uh-huh.
that's something obviously that needs to carry on game by game. How is it that you're able to encourage that? Because that wasn't here last year.
Listen, I think that each manager and coaching staff have their own ways of trying to foster that spirit and get that fight and passion out of the team. Then we've got our own ways that will remain within the dressing room. You know, we bite-sized things about the competitive edge in training. But I think what the players got, and not only what they got in the dressing room and what I said to them, what Graham said to them before we left, is the energy from the crowd. Now that crowd, I hope if people watch this, the Dundee fans, a lot of the ones who maybe haven't bought season books, and came to that game and maybe agree with you, saw something different this year. But the backing we got from the fans, the energy, can you imagine what our team would be like if that stadium was like that every week, home game? It'd be brilliant. And the away fans are exceptional. I experienced that first hand last year. The effect it had on the team, take the Hamilton game aside. But the first two games, which were, I think they were monumental games for the club. You know, coming in the back of 7 defeats, we went away from home twice in my first two games to Motherwell and Kilmarnock. And the support, without doubt, had an impact, as did the support in the United game. So if we can encourage more numbers to come in and back us, I think the boys will grow massively from that, because we're quite a young side. When you look at the boys at the back the other night there, and then you had Glenn in front of him, a younger boy again. So look, we're a young team and we need support, and that support is vital, and I think we feed off it, and that gives us maybe an extra edge that we maybe didn't have in it last year.
Cheers, Neil.
Alright.
Thank you very much.